The fire industry is one of the most regulated, and it should be, industries in the world because of the life protection aspects of it. If you want to be at the cutting edge of fire technology, there are 2 or 3 things you need to be aware of. The first one is the approval standards are mandatory and regulation is important because we are talking life safety. So you have to take quality control as vital, and your controls and procedures and reporting are absolutely essential. Additional to that, you've got to recognize that when you develop a product in the fire industry, even if it takes you 2 years to develop it, or 3 years or 5 years, it might take you 2 to 3 or 4 years to get approvals around the world.
Well, working in the fire alarm industry, everything's got to be about quality. We can't afford any compromises. I find this in my own personal life as well, unfortunately, that we've got to make sure that we do things right the first time, and ensuring that our customers also come back to us time and time again because they recognise that we are a quality brand with quality products. Manufacturing in the UK is always going to have its challenges. We're competing on a global basis and often with manufacturers that have a much lower cost point than us. But what's important is that we get across our values. So our values are based around quality, reliability, and also customer service. Also, our application knowledge probably extends much greater than our competition.
The fire prevention regulations needed overhauling a few years ago, and since Grenfell and the various investigations, there's been some tremendous improvements. Taken too long, in my view, but I understand it's a conservative industry and the implications are vast, and we are talking life safety. But I think a continuous path of increased regulation is required, particularly in the area of training. I think people that are installing and people that actually do the commissioning of buildings, training level and certification level is vitally important so that they know when they're handing over a panel or installing a panel, they are trained correctly on it. We are talking life safety. So I think fundamentally there could be improved regulation. The government, to be fair, is moving in the right direction. I think it could move faster. And I think it actually could increase and have a plan that runs out for the next 10 years. There's several trends in the fire detection technology industry at the moment. One of those is towards more sophisticated, user-friendly panels, such as our newer Tactis panel that is touchscreen and has a lot of intuitive guidance in it. And once you've been trained, it's very easy to use and people are finding it very acceptable. So it's more intuitive and it actually stops you doing things you shouldn't do as well. Whereas with the older panels, they rely more on the training. So that's part of it. The second thing is systems are coming out that are hybrid of both wired and wireless. And the advent of COVID as well has increased the availability and the acceptability of wireless solutions. Kentec's role in UK manufacturing, I think, is pretty important because a lot of companies manufacture one element of their products or nothing. We actually manufacture every part. So the diversity, when you go around the factory, you'll see, is enormous in our skills base. And that's exciting and it's rewarding, but it's also challenging. It also, as you'll see when you go around the factory, requires space. And so expanding the factory is a challenge as well, again, financially. So Kentec is a company that is, I think, an example of someone that manufactures every aspect of the product. And it's very rare to see. And I think if other companies could aspire to be the same, instead of subcontracting to other countries, I think it would help British manufacture grow. Innovation for Kentec is vital in several areas. The one everyone talks about is technology. And the advent of the newer semiconductors, faster processing, is required inside our panels. We've got over 500 semiconductors in a fully loaded Tactis. We need to avail ourselves of the latest technology and use the speeds and availability for downloading software. We have a software controlled system called LE2 that allows you to remote configuration, etc. And I think innovation is also needed in terms of factories and technology that's used in factories. We don't lend ourselves to too much automation because the volumes of panels are not as vast as they are of detectors, but there is a need for innovation in some automation. We have done so ourselves in terms of a paint plant. We put in a custom paint plant at a cost of over £800,000 only a few years ago, and that automated the full process tremendously. There's also innovation required in training. So training is fundamental to what we do, and 5 years ago we took the decision to increase our training substantially and put 80 people through a lean training course. We then took about 20 people through Leadership for Lean, which is an 18-month course, and then we took my direct reports, most of them through level 5 government leadership and management course, which is very skilled. And the level 3 course, we put a lot more people through, and every year we're putting more people through. We also have specific people doing other training, just specific to their roles, but the investment in training from Kentec is vast compared to our revenue. In addition to that, 5 years ago, I sent one of our HR staff on a mental health train for trainers course for 6 weeks intensive. And so she became one of the qualified people in the UK. She has 2 masters already, but she's now qualified as a trainer for mental health. She then proceeded to train all the senior team and people from every department in the company in mental health awareness on a 2-day course. And she continuously runs those courses every quarter. So we're trying to be leading our team, not just in industrial training, but in training awareness and wellness, and mental health we consider to be vitally important. We did this before COVID, but I'm so glad we did, because through COVID it helped us help our people better.